Well, we did it. I don't know how we did it. Like, I was concerned when it first came out and they announced it, but we were able to get all three Hardins Creeks. Which means tonight we are going to review the third and final of the lineup, which is Boston. So, link above, I'll put all the previous videos, everything like that. So far, I think Clermont's been your favorite and
Yes.
Frankfort's been mine.
Yes.
So we can see if this
Where this falls
with the
between
other
the
two.
two.
Yeah. Boston is obviously from the Boston campus, and their notes on this one is high temperature, great sunlight, dry air, and mid elevation. So again, if this is the first one you've watched or anything like that, or you don't know about the Hardins Creek series that Jim Beam released this year, what they decided to do was take 17-year-old bourbon, one from Clermont, one from Frankfort, and one from Boston, blend the couple barrels they picked together, but the only difference is where they were aged, and you can see how much aging affects this.
So we give it a try?
Let's do it.
All right.
Cheers.
It's a delicious nose.
Yeah, that might be
Very
the
sweet.
best nose of all three, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, so really
It's just
oaky,
caramel, brown sugar.
little tobacco. Like I would just call this a classic Jim Beam nose.
Okay. A little sweeter than I think than their
Yeah,
nose, but
but yeah, one you can just sit and smell for a while.
can't wait
Absolutely.
to taste. Ooh. Sweetness definitely carries through on the palate.
Yeah.
It's lighter on the mouth than other Jim Beam products.
Yeah, it's not as oily or viscous as the other ones were, which is interesting.
Does not feel very high proof at all. You're probably gonna tell me it's some over 100.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't drink like that.
Yeah, it's 110. All three were. There's there's not as much going on the palate and the finish as there were on the nose. This is one of those that I feel like it's got a great nose, and then past that, it kind of lets you down a little bit.
Oh, I'm getting creme brulee, some kind of toastedness going on, vanilla, some vanilla notes on the palate.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of caramel, vanilla, oak. Oak is very predominant, which you would kind of expect for a 17-year-old product. Uh, but there is a slight, I'm going to go ethanol note all the way through, to me at least. Like,
I'm not getting that at all with this one. This one's really nice, but I'm not getting as much oak as you keep
yeah.
saying. Mine is it's more of like a just toasted. Like I said, if you took a what is it called, a flambe gun, and you just like toasted the sugar and you caramelize it. I'm just getting some of that.
Yeah. And then, I mean, for being 110 proof, 17 years old, there's not that much of a long lasting finish that I'm getting. Like, there's a little bit of, I go, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of like allspice, general baking spices notes.
Yeah,
But it's there for a really short time and then it's gone. It doesn't just sit and linger for a long time.
that's true. Yeah, one area that is probably the lacking is the finish,
Yeah. So,
but it's good. Like overall, this is really drinkable, really delicious. What's the term y'all use?
crushable.
Gulpable? Oh,
Crushable.
crushable.
Crushable, gulpable, yeah, both work. Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, this is definitely very, very drinkable. At least for me, I'm still going Frankfurt all day long. Like I will 100% agree. Boston's got the best nose out of all of them. It's not even close. But after that, I'm not a fan. Like I would, easily buy a second or third of Frankfort, probably a second of Clermont. I'm happy we've got one Boston. And
Okay. Well, I don't think that's quite fair until you've had your lineup here
fair
to
enough.
really straight compare. You're just going off of memory.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. There'll be a showdown with all three.
Yep.
If you're trying to decide which one of the three you want to get. But really, of course, this is coming from a Beam fan. They're all different.
Hmm.
This has more to do with what kind of palate you like, what flavors you like.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's still good. I don't know. For me, I feel like Knob 15 or something like that, that's going to be a lower price point, to me is going to be a better buy. But to have the lineup, to be able to see the differences, absolutely 100% was on board with this from the beginning. Um, I guess I'm just thinking like if you can only get one and Boston's your choice, I don't know if I would be willing to pay the $175
okay.
for this, but that's where I am.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we have all three, so
Hmm.
like we got them.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know what kind of other advice to give others out there.
Hmm.
So,
So from the Beam fan herself, what's your final take?
I mean, I like this a lot.
Okay.
Again, it brings something different to the table. I'm even now getting some notes of banana in there.
Oh,
I feel like a little bananas Foster going on again with that like toasted note. The vanilla is really nice. I wish the spice stuck around a little bit more. I am getting the baking spice, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of allspice, but it doesn't stay around too long, which
yeah.
is all right. But I feel like for people that like more sweet stuff, I mean, this is gonna hit all those notes
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, and I would even say I think if you're a big Booker's fan, this might hit those spots for you because it's much more reminiscent of a Booker's,
That's true.
whereas Frankfort, well, Claremont, I think was much more reminiscent of like a Knob Creek, and I don't know where I'd put Frankfort. Frankfort's just so different than anything I'm used to from the Beam family. But yeah, so yeah, I can agree with you. If you are a big Beam fan and you like Jim Beam products, I think this is gonna be a fan for
Yeah, a
you.
win. Yeah.
But that's also the beauty of all three bottles. You're gonna find a bottle that you're not a fan of, and for me, it's obviously this one. Uh, but that's just the way it goes, and that's part of the fun of the different areas. So
It's just pretty cool that they're all so different.
I know, and it's like crazy different.
Yeah,
Like you could put
that
all,
location.
yeah, you can put all three in a blind, and you would not know those are all three Jim Beam products, all the same distillate, just aged in different locations. So
Yep.
great job overall with the presentation and everything, Jim Beam. Like this is a really cool experiment. I hope you keep doing cool things like this with the Hardins Creek line and other things, because the science nerd of me thought this was probably one of the coolest things.
Yeah.
Right next to Maker's Mark DNA series, where they changed the entry proof and then left everything else the same. I think more of us people that are really into bourbon, this is what we want. Like, and we will pay a little bit more for this type of thing because, like, for me, I love the science of bourbon. Like, that's just so cool. And until I can, get a couple $1 million and open my own distillery, which isn't happening anytime soon, unless you just want to give me a couple $1 million. This is the closest we can get to that, and overall, it's a great expression lineup. So,
Yep. Agreed.
yep.
Thanks for sharing.
Absolutely. So, with that, we'll see you next time, and cheers.
Cheers.